been a pretty big week if you're into adult animation from the late 90s and early 2000s that was cut down in its prime, because alongside Clone High getting a reboot, it looks like Mission Hill will also be receiving the same treatment, if they can find a buyer, but we'll get to that in just a second. We'll focus on positivity for right now. This is phenomenal news. Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, the two original creators of the show, are working together again to bring Mission Hill back, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. In a tweet from Bill Oakley, he talks about how it's going to take place 6 months after the original and feature a lot more of Gus and Wally, and the show at this time is actually titled Gus and Wally. Now, Gus and Wally are my two favorite characters. They're phenomenal, their chemistry is great, they have a fun relationship to watch that's always interesting. Those two brought me my favorite episode, Plan 9 from Mission Hill, parentheses, or I Married a Gay Man from Outer Space. It's a fantastic episode. It's easily the most heartwarming, has the most character development, and in my opinion is one of the funniest episodes of the entire one-season TV series. Now, I obviously love the idea of shifting the focus to Gus and Wally. That's pretty clear from what I just said based on the first season of the show, but I'm aware there are people who are gonna be upset about this because they want the show to pick up right where it left off and continue into the Andy and Kevin French story. I think the Andy and Kevin French story is still going to be there. If it gets cut out, that's another thing we have to talk about. But Gus and Wally are just such well-written characters with so many unique characteristics. They're basically opposites, yet they're still together. That's always fun to watch. I mean, the episode where Gus just gets a knife in his head and Wally just has to deal with that's the B plot to an episode. That's the subplot. It's so fun, and it's really funny to watch how that plays out because he's just... Gus doesn't care. Wally's trying to help him. It's not a big deal to him. It's fantastic. I love when these two are on screen together. In fact, the show won an award for portraying a gay couple in a positive light in the early 2000s. That's not just because they're a gay couple, it's because they're well-written characters that are interesting and fun to watch. So basing a show around them is a phenomenal idea. But of course, the show is just being shopped right now. It's still looking for a buyer. So even though I love the idea, someone still needs to love it on the corporate side of things, on the network side of things, and say, okay, we will pay to have this show and we'll distribute it for you on our channel or streaming service. Now, Josh Weinstein and Bill Oakley, I don't know them on a first name basis, believe it or not, they have worked with Netflix before on Disenchantment. So I think Netflix is a very realistic location for this show to land. However, there are also other outlets it could wind up on. They've worked on The Simpsons. This could be a Disney Plus exclusive or something that goes on Fox alongside Family Guy. Who knows? There are a lot of possibilities for where this show could wind up, but I think it's really likely that the show gets picked up. I don't see anyone passing up a project from Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, guys who have worked on The Simpsons, Futurama, Disenchantment, Portlandia, Gravity Falls. So many amazing projects and episodes under their belt. It'd be stupid to pass up their passion project, the thing they worked on together that garnered a cult following incredibly quickly and has been demanding a sequel, a continuation for the past 20 years. Passing up that kind of project just doesn't make sense. But I don't want to speak in complete certainty because there's always the possibility that every single place the Mission Hill spinoff, Gus and Wally, whatever the title winds up being, there's always the possibility that it could be passed up on by everybody. And if that happens, Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, I'm putting in my bid right now for $1,500. $1,500. And I don't really have much more to offer. But that's my bid. But I seriously doubt that's going to happen. And there's always people wondering about a release date for this sort of thing. I think it's realistic that if it gets bought in 2020, it will be released late 2021 or early 2022. I think that's perfectly fair. It's an animated project. A year turnaround time is impressive. Going past that is realistic. So 2022, early 2022 makes sense for me, especially when you're writing a full-fledged series that has such a gigantic cult following. It'd be best to really make sure every single episode hits for all those old fans and it also has something to offer for all of the new fans, which is what I think Mission Hill still does to this day. I think if someone were to see it, even though it's hard to come across right now, they would probably wind up enjoying it, and then join the cult following, and that group gets even bigger. So early 2022, late 2021 is my guess, especially if it gets picked up by someone like Netflix, who treats their animated projects so well, especially adult animation like BoJack Horseman, F is for Family, Disenchantment, even Big Mouth, which I still have some strong feelings about, but you can't deny Netflix has been good to them, and when they realized how big of a hit it was, they really put the money behind them and said, alright, you guys keep going. I think they signed it to a 3 or 4 season deal after season 2. That's pretty incredible. But that's all there is really to say about the Mission Hill spin-off, reboot, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. Let me know what you guys think of this whole situation down in the comments below. I read every single comment on this channel, so do not be shy. Yours will not be overlooked. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.